The Project Whisperer, Understanding the Human Part of the Gantt Chart. That is the title of our book today. Welcome to the Author Show. I'm Danielle Hampson, and PStanton is the author of The Project Whisperer. She is my guest today. Welcome to the show, Pam.
Thank you, Danielle. Hi, it's great to be here today.
Pam, tell us the meaning of the title of the book. What is a Project Whisperer? And by the way, what is a Gantt chart also?
Well, the Project Whisperer, the book really came out of me reflecting on my 20 years of success in delivering on very large initiatives, and looking at a very sad statistic that we have in the world of project management, and that's between 60 and 75% of projects fail. And so I had to ask myself, well, what am I doing differently? Really, and when I looked back on every large initiative I had led and the challenges I had faced, it really came down to really one simple concept, and it's that the projects are primarily about people. Right? And the secret to success is really in supporting people through a project so that they can get their job done.
Now, you rightfully say that everything is about people. And of course, people have different sets of soft skills. So how important is soft skills in project management?
Well, first, I'll answer your question about a Gantt chart, and then we'll talk about the soft skills. For those of your viewers who are not project managers and may not have heard this term, but a Gantt chart really is the sort of de facto main tool that project managers use. It's essentially a big bar chart that shows all the tasks over time that have to get done. All right? And it's very tactical. It's very focused. We call it a work breakdown structure. And one of the things I say over and over is that human behavior is not a work breakdown structure. And that's where we get to the soft skills. And, soft skills are extremely important in project management because, as I said, it's really about the human beings who are going through this journey together to try to deliver something. And there are predictable behavioral dynamics that a team will experience throughout the course of a project. And so if they're predictable, that means that we as project managers have this great opportunity to anticipate and to be able to clear those roadblocks for our team so that they can do their thing.
Well, don't people learn these skills when they get their project management certification, so to speak?
I wish that were the case, and it's becoming more of, there's more visibility to the topic now, but there's a good reason for that, and it's that initially, with the support of our premier organization, the Project Management Institute, we really initially had to spend a lot of time establishing project management as a real discipline with real tools and real process and give it that stature and that validity. And the good news, I think, is that summit has been reached. And so now as we evolve as a community, our next great challenge is how to take this soft concept of soft skills and translate it and embrace it in a way that we, who are very tactical people, can apply to our day-to-day project management. What does it mean to us?
So how important is project management methodology?
Well, project management methodology is extremely important, and I'm not saying, and I'll never say that soft skills are more important. On the cover of my book and the logo for my business, I use the yin-yang symbol. For me, that means there's a balance between the two. And the way I like to describe it is that methodology gives us this incredible tool belt that we strap on around our waists. And we have all these great things we can reach for. And then, but it's our emotional intelligence and our soft skills that enable us to determine which tool to reach for. In a certain situation, am I reaching for the hammer or do I need to be reaching for the polishing cloth? So together they make us extremely, extremely effective in handling situations with our teams.
Now you have a very interesting way of describing a project management. Can you tell us more about that?
Yeah, exactly. For a long time, the analogy I used to explain it to, for example, my grandmother, who wasn't a business person, was an analogy to the sport of curling. And it's become so popular that now I don't have to really explain much about the sport. But there's a team of people, and one person throws the stone across the ice toward a target. And then there's two people who sweep out in front. And they sweep the ice and they alter the ice conditions and they keep looking toward the target and they create the right conditions so that stone can hit the target. So I always say to people, that's me. I'm a sweeper. I'm out in front. I'm watching the stone, which for me is the project. I'm looking at the target, which is the goal. And I'm altering the conditions so that the stone can get to where it needs to go.
As you said earlier, a lot of projects fail because of inadequate project management. You are relating this to curling, and I agree with you that team effort is very, very important. So why is it that as humans we don't get it when it comes to the work environment, that is?
Well, I think that we tend to get very focused on process. And when we're under pressure, especially, in today's work world, there's a constant pressure to do more with less. And I see, especially in workplaces now, people are really just cranking away. And it's easy under that stress and pressure to really overlook, the human side and try to just focus on getting it done. And so some ways we shoot ourselves in the foot when we do that because we actually create suboptimal conditions for people to perform.
Most people have a New Year resolution. Well, mine this year is to slow down in order to go faster. And what I mean by faster is to really concentrate on doing things in a more productive fashion and also in a more timely manner. We take on too much. That joins what you are saying. So in the case of project management, are we asking too much from the people who work with us? Are we expecting too much from them so that they no longer have the time to focus on the task at hand? That they are too concerned about productivity and the speed at which they're supposed to go, and that gives into quality?
I agree with you that, slowing down sometimes in order to go faster seems counterintuitive. In the world of project management, we have focused a lot on process and forms and these things and methodology and checking off the boxes on those, in some cases without really being thoughtful about whether those things are necessary. And so for me, a project whisperer and a strong project manager will be extremely selective about what tools and process and methodology they apply to any situation with their team. Because really for me, I'm a very big fan of servant leadership. And I always believed as a project manager, if I can clear the obstacles and clear the path and essentially get out of the team's way, they know what to do. And so the more you can remove those distractions and those low value added activities or bureaucracy, if you want to call it, really the better then the team is able to focus on the critical few things that are going to make the greatest difference in the success of the project.
What's the concept of the 7 stages of a project's team journey?
In my book, I talk about the 7 stages, and I'll preface this with that human behavior is as varied as the human genome, right? Because we're all individual and we all come to situations with our own history and baggage and needs and so on. But what I've observed over and over again is that when you get a group of diverse people together with different skills and talents and targets and goals, they come together as a group and they start to behave as an entity unto their own. And they really go through what I call a physical and emotional journey together through 7 stages of delivering a project, starting from the very earliest, getting the team together, to hopefully the end, where's the successful delivery. And so through those 7 stages, what I've laid out in the book, it are really, practical things, tangible things that a project manager can observe. Because, when we talk about soft skills, a lot of what we talk about is what you should be doing. You should be, leading your team enthusiastically. You should be doing this. That's a lot of what, but, we project managers want to know how. And so over the 7 stages, what I do is break it down into, first of all, what you can expect that team to be experiencing physically and emotionally at that stage. What would be the symptoms or the signs for you of certain dysfunction or, pitfalls, roadblocks, and then specifically what you can do, actual tactical things you can do to turn that around.
When the project manager uses the project whisperer approach, what can he expect to benefit from that?
Well, I guess, I'll say first and foremost is that it works because I've delivered successfully using this approach for 20 years on some of the largest initiatives that were ever undertaken at the organizations where I worked. So I can sit here and say with all confidence and all humility, it truly does work. The second thing is that, as project managers now and project management, we've really become embedded in the fabric of growth and change of organizations. It's no longer, the old days where a project was something that happened in isolation. We are really in there driving business forward. And so, using this approach, it's not only about just delivering the widget or the new system or the new product. It's really about contributing to organizational growth and talent development. For me, I want people to come out of a project experience feeling energized, feeling some sense of success, having grown their skills, begging to be on my next project, which actually is one of the greatest compliments I think I could ever get, and I've gotten. So it's a more holistic approach to looking at how we fit into the overall organization.
So it looks like people who are not former project managers, they can benefit from that approach as well, correct?
Absolutely. And I started out early in my career as what I call an accidental project manager. I was thrust into a role because I was a person who was pretty good at organizing things. And there I was managing a project, which was really different than managing a work team. And so, increasingly, as budgets are tightened and companies are being asked to do more with less, I see this happening more and more, where people who are very good functional managers or business managers are being asked or expected to also lead projects. And so for someone in that situation, this would be a fabulous way to take and leverage the people management skills that they already have, and then understand really tactically then how they can apply those in the context of leading a project team.
The title of your book is Project Whisperer, Understanding the Human Part of the Gantt Chart. Where can we find the book, Pam?
Well, the book is available on Amazon.com. It's also right now featured at a very nice discount at the projectmanagementbookstore.com. And people can always go to my website, PStanton.com, where I have not only links to the book, but also some really great free resources and articles to give anyone who's interested an overview and a grounding in this approach.
Okay, wonderful. Thank you very much, Pam, for coming on the show today to explain what the Project Whisperer is.
Thank you, Danielle. It's very much my pleasure.
And the title one more time is The Project Whisperer, Understanding the Human Part of the Gantt Chart by Pam Stanton. I'm Danielle Hampson. Be well, stay informed, pick up a book today and read.